something called CRISPR, C.R.I.S.P.R. And it seems like this is basically a commercial for genetic engineering on a very advanced scale. Man, I want to talk about this. So, watch the video for this CRISPR commercial or advertisement for the future of genetic engineering. And what it basically talks about is, in the near future, humans will be genetically modified on purpose and for a purpose, and certain traits, qualities that they have will be predetermined by laboratory workers and parents that basically select the type of being or child that they want to have. And essentially there seems to be no limitation to this. And it starts off with the mixing of genes from animals and humans together. Yes, the mixing of animals and people so that people can get superhuman abilities like the ears of a dog so that you can hear things on a level that dogs can hear, or the sight of a hawk, or what have you. Now, I foresee complications and problems with this, being that once you start grafting in the DNA of certain animals, you might get superhuman hearing or whatever, but you also might start getting some other side effects that you were not hoping for. And they may take some time to show up. But here's the other thing. If humans are genetically modified and mixed with animals, and these traits are predetermined, once you make a genetically modified baby and it grows up into an adult and it breeds or has babies of its own, that DNA is now being passed down without any help from doctors. And that DNA can sort of freestyle and do whatever it wants to do as it passes down the family tree. So it's kind of out of the hands of the doctors at that point. If you've never seen it, I'd highly recommend checking out a movie called Gattaca. That's what it reminds me of. And basically in the future, there's a whole different type of profiling going on. And that is those who are genetically pure because they have been modified at birth, and those who are genetically unstable or unknown, which are the natural born people with no genetic modifications, and they just roll the dice and risk whatever life throws at them. I see that as a strong possibility if the genetic engineering that's in hiding right now becomes a public phenomenon and practice. So the other link is about quantum computers, and they have, if you don't know what a quantum computer is, like, it's a supercomputer. These are computers that make calculations that are almost unfathomable to you and I. They think faster than our brains can think. Robots are getting smarter than the people who made them. And robots are slowly beginning to take over our way of life. And it's this frog in a I always want to say frog in a blender. It's this frog in a pot effect. Once again, it's a slow introduction. It's small things at first, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Basically, they can make it so that robots of the future can do anything. They're capable of anything, and they can absolutely replace human beings on almost any level. Now, combine a quantum computer with some of those robots that do 3D printing. I mean, imagine the possibilities of things that robots can do once we become obsolete. And this is right around the corner. Robots taking over our world. What they call transhumanism, or androids, which is humans mixed with robots. combining them together. And then the combining DNA from animals and humans to make crossbreeds of animal humans. The implications that it has on future life. I mean, we genetically modify corn and all this stuff, and that gets into our body, and that starts to change us slowly. But they're talking about directly manipulating human beings to do things. And what they use to justify this is, like, well, we'll cure AIDS, and which they already have the cure for. We'll cure cancer, and you know what I mean? Like, the big one is we will prevent death. Maybe not prevent it, but we will extend your lives for a very long amount of time. Well, that's interesting because in the Bible it says that Jesus says, like, the end will come and it will be like in the days of Noah. Well, in the days of Noah, men were living for hundreds of years. There was crossbreeding going on. There was magic, dark magic being used. There was animal-human hybrids. That world is right around the corner. I mean, we have those things now, but most of them are kept just under our view. And I promise you, soon enough, they will start revealing little by little, and they'll entice you. They'll try to entice all of us into wanting and desiring these things without questioning the implication, without questioning what it could lead to, if it's a good idea or not. Because people will be so eager. It'll be like when they bring out a new technology, but they put it in the form of a video game or something, and people want it, and they use it, like that Pokemon game. It's basically got us doing the work of the robots to map out our locations, where we live, where we eat, where we work, where we are, where other things are, taking pictures of everything. So yeah, I'm already old-fashioned. Who knows how long YouTube's even going to be up. But if it's up 40 years from now, and you're watching this, then you see a younger version of an old man right now who's talking to you about your present condition. What kind of a world will we see? Will we live in? Will we adapt so that we don't even remember that there's much of a change? Will we go along with it? Or will we stand firm in this old-fashioned way of life? And the changes will be crazy to us. And these videos, this is all stuff that they're just letting you see. Everyone knows that they always hide stuff, and they don't release technology and stuff until, 40, 50 years later. Once they've exhausted it, now they can use it to their advantage, to put it out into the public's view after they've packaged it in a nice, pretty, enticing wrapper. And if you look up supercomputers, all of the world's fastest computers today are like the size of huge rooms, just like they used to be. Well, those old supercomputers of yesteryear are now small. So imagine what these supercomputers, these quantum computers today, how small they're going to eventually get and what they'll be able to do. Just some food for thought.
Time to wake up, time to wake up.